Hey guys, well, I've had a sudden change in plans. I hadn't planned on having any garden produce ready just yet. I know, that's pitiful, that's my broccoli. I'm not getting much, it is just too hot. I got one little head of cauliflower about the size of a softball that I am babying along, just trying to uh, get at least one head of cauliflower. I got my garden in way too late. I have never been able to grow green beans. So I didn't plant very many. I had decided if I got enough to plant 2 pints or can 2 pints, I was going to can them, but just enough for supper and just a few cucumbers. I wanted to get most of them like this, but some got too big. So I'm not going to can a lot of pickles. I didn't plant that many. We're not real big pickle eaters, but I'm making pickles for other people. So anyway, maybe by the time I'm done with this, I'll take you on the garden tour. And my favorite recipes, I've got a stack of old recipes here from probably the 50s, 60s, maybe even some from the 40s. So I thought I was going to start making different types, but really the only thing I have ingredients for today are dill pickles. So going to make dill pickles, and I don't think I'm going to can them, but I haven't decided. Might make them refrigerator. Alright guys, well I decided I'm going to go ahead and make dill pickles because that's all I have ingredients for today. And I got out the old mandolin slicer, and some of you may remember when I tried to slice my finger off, so guess what? I got a Kevlar glove. This is set on the 3.5 millimeter. That way I'll have, same size, same thickness. The bigger pickles I'm going to slice, and the smaller ones that will fit into pint jars like this, I'm going to pack those in whole. And I'm going to keep on slicing away and getting things ready, and then we'll move over to the canner. Today, since we're doing pickles, they can be water bath canned. Let's keep an eye on this, make sure I don't slice my finger off. This is the handiest thing. You can just whip right through this. What I've been doing is cutting the end off one. Chickens are going to love the scraps. And back in the day, I used to hand slice my pickles. Thank goodness I got this thing. Best 20 bucks I've ever spent. Alright guys, I've got the pickles are sliced up. The ones that I'm going to leave whole are ready to go. This is my water bath canner. I know, some of you have listened to me whine and complain because I don't like water bath canning. It just, in my opinion, it's more work. You gotta sterilize everything. You gotta sterilize your lids. You gotta sterilize your jars. It takes a lot of water when you're water bath canning. But let's quit crying, okay? Anyway, the ingredients that I'm gonna do, of course, are cucumbers for pickles, and like I said, today we're making dill. So I go out to the garden to see if I have any dill. This is all I have, and it's really not ready yet, but I'm hoping to get a little bit of dill flavor, and it's all up here because I still want to use the dill from my garden. Guess what's back? The swallowtail butterflies. And I actually found some eggs on here already. I planted some other, and it's only about an inch tall, so I don't think I'll be growing any dill this year. I have some dried dill from a couple years ago. I have some store-bought. I have some dill seed. And then you have to make a brine. And the brine is just water. I've got 3 cups of water in my saucepan here. I'm going to add 1 cup of vinegar. You got to be pretty precise with the measurements in this because you want your acidity level to be correct. And of course you use, it's 5% vinegar that you use for canning. And you also will need salt. This recipe calls for, I think I just said, 3 cups of water, 1 cup of vinegar, and, oh, I gotta look, 1/4 cup of salt. Make sure you use either kosher salt or preferably the pickling and canning salt because it doesn't have the added chemicals. So I'm gonna get my brine started. You gotta heat that up and get it to where the salt is dissolved. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back. Okay, I've moved you over to the other side. My wide mouth jars is what I'm gonna use the whole pickles. Don't know how many I'm gonna be able to get in there because you need a 1/2 inch of head space. And you know, this is actually better with quart jars because you can get more in there. But I have so few pickles. No, that's my slicers. And then I'm gonna pack in as many of the sliced ones as I can get in there. Gosh, I've got more pickles, more cucumbers here than I thought I had. Then what you do is, my recipe that I'm using, did I already show you? It's probably from the 1950s. It's my great aunt. And this recipe is for quarts, but put in, for a pint, 1/8 of a teaspoon of alum. That's supposed to keep the pickles crisp. And I know, they say not to use it anymore, but all my recipes are old and all my recipes call for alum. And I may go ahead and, well, I'm going to cut some of these pickles this way just to fill my jars. And then all the recipes that I have just say, and put some dill in there. So we're going to put some dill in there. Like I said, I wanted some of this, just there's not going to be much flavor. Most of it's going to come from the stem. I'm going to put that in there. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Of course, the more you add, the dill weed doesn't have as good a strong a flavor as the dill seed. But put that in there, and then I'm going to cover it with the brine, the boiling brine. And remember, you always have to make sure you get all the air bubbles out. And you use plastic or wood. Do not use metal because it could scratch your jars and cause them to crack. And there's nothing more disappointing than to hear that crack when you put the pull that jar out. You've got your product floating around. Then, trust me, when I'm not on the camera, it's a little bit more organized. I just dip this paper towel in the boiling water. Wipe around the edge. You want to make sure it's clean. At the same time, you're making sure there's no chips or cracks. If so, you're not going to get a seal. Don't waste your time. Throw that jar away. Because, man, you know, you've done all this work. You certainly don't want to ruin your product. And then we're going to put the lid on. Okay, remember I use Tatler lids. So put the rubber ring on there, put the lid on, and just put it on there loosely. When we take it out, we'll tighten it down for the seal. And then this goes back in. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to work a lot quicker now and get all these put in. I don't want to leave it in. And for pints, you process it in the boiling water for 10 minutes. And I don't want to leave them in any longer than that. So I'm going to get them all ready to go and put them in together because I don't want my pickles mushy and cooked. I'll be back when I get ready to put them in. Okay guys, they're going in. The water is boiling. And once you get all the jars in, it'll quit boiling for a little bit. You want to bring it back to a full boil, and that's when your processing time begins. For pickles, it's 10 minutes for pints. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. I've got 8 pints of pickles in there. It's almost back to a boil. I'll time it for 10 minutes and I'll be back. All right guys, the 10 minutes are up. And remember, Tattler lids, take it out, tighten the lid down. Oops. Okay, now you just leave them set. I usually let mine set overnight, and we'll check them in the morning. If you remember to check a Tattler lid, you take the ring off and hold it by the lid, and if it holds its own weight, if it doesn't come off, then it's sealed.